And Ronda, I just wondered how much of a fan of the TV show you were and what your reaction was to landing a role in the film.
I was a new fan. I happened to just start watching it a few weeks before I got the call to be in it, and it was almost creepy and out of nowhere. There was nothing happened. It was just a random thought that I had was, we should start watching Entourage. And I was several seasons deep when I got the call to be in it, and I don't watch much TV. It's not like I'm always watching seasons of things. So it was very odd that the second I started watching it, then the role came up, and it was too serendipitous to turn down.
And the cast have been working together for sort of over 10 years now.
Yeah.
How welcoming were they to you as a newcomer?
They were fantastic because, I mean, not only was I the outsider of the group, but I'm new to acting and especially new to comedy and a little romantic comedy like me and Turtle have going on. And they really went out of their way to take me from being like nervous and awkward to totally comfortable and having fun with the rest of them.
And how about that fight scene with Jerry Ferrara? Did you have to sort of try hard not to hurt him?
Yeah, I of course I didn't want to hurt him, but I also wanted to give him that little bit of a twinge of not quite sure if he was going to make it. So, you know, to help him out in his acting and portrayal on his face of, no, I'm just kidding. He was fine.
Was there a safe word?
There was no safe word. I'm pretty well acquainted with the anatomy of an elbow. I know how to keep it in one piece.
To what extent did you feel you were sort of playing a character or yourself, or was it kind of...
I didn't feel like I was playing a character at all, actually. The situation between me and Turtle in the film is very close to the situation I'm in real life. I'm very new on this scene. I mean, I went from living in a Craigslist house to having a new house, a new car, and a UFC contract all in 1 week. And so I kind of got thrust into this whole like Hollywood fame scene, and it's easy to get mistrusting and to be suspicious of people, and to when you open yourself up to somebody, you're especially vulnerable, and a lot of those insecurities show in this film when I'm usually Miss Super Tough Invincible chick, and it's nice to show that other side of, you know, a certain type of guy usually asks me out, but I'm not into only one kind of guy. And I would conceivably really have a crush on Jerry or Turtle. And it would make sense that him having fat kid syndrome of he's suddenly is so attractive and desirable and doesn't really realize it yet and wouldn't think that I would be interested in him and would second guess himself, and that actual issue would come up in real life. So it wasn't so much acting as how would I act if this happened.
And I remember interviewing Dwayne Johnson, and he told me that when he first got into acting, he came up against quite a bit of resistance from people in the business, but Sylvester Stallone was someone that he found really very, very encouraging. I just wondered if there was someone who's been particularly encouraging of you, and if you have found some resistance.
No, I haven't seen any resistance at all, and that's actually pretty funny because Stallone was really my first mentor, and he gave me my first role, and he's the one that really had faith in me from the beginning and walked me through my first film in Expendables. So yeah, it's kind of funny to see with every project I'm on, I kind of have a new guide through each of them. So in Expendables, it was kind of Sly holding my hand and walking me through it. And with Fast and Furious, it was Vin that took that role of making me feel comfortable and really teaching me things that, you know, I wouldn't learn otherwise unless I was on the set and had someone like him walking me through it. And with Entourage, it really was Jerry and Doug that were really there for me and really made me feel like I can do a good job in a genre like this. And I learned so much more on this film than I think I did ever before.
And there was some great cameos in the series and in the film. Was there anyone you were particularly excited about that was making a cameo in the movie? Yeah,
when I saw Mike Tyson, I totally fangirled out. And I've met him before, but it never goes away. Every single time that I see him and he says, "What's up, champ?" I'm like, oh, Mike Tyson called me champ and he knows who I am, and oh my God, it's Mike Tyson. And he brought his wife and his little daughter on set, and it was such a joy to really spend some time with him in that setting. And it's funny, there's always there's Pharrell right here, there's all these different kind of people, but my whole focus is just Mike Tyson, 10 o'clock. I just could not think about him.
I just wondered if there was a performance aspect to MMA and the fighting that you've been doing before that you've been able to bring to acting, or if you kind of feel like you're starting afresh?
The promotion of film, the promotion of fights really transfers over, because there's a lot of having to be quick-witted and respond to people, and there's people trying to get you. You know, they're trying to outwit you. They're trying to make you look stupid. You have to be really sharp, and that really helps me. Whereas when I'm acting, I actually like it better when they change lines last minute, or they change the beginning of the scene, because I'm much better at reacting to what someone has said than trying to remember something. And that really came in handy when we would do like the freebie takes, and we would just be able to make stuff up. Those were always my best ones.
And just finally, do you have an entourage of your own, and who's in it if you do?
Yeah, it's kind of funny that in the film, when they come to the gym, those are my actual girls, my actual best friends that walk up with me. And so it's a funny kind of moment when it's the 4 guys of the entourage and the four horsemen, when we call ourselves, from the super famous WWE heel team, from the Rontourage, as we jokingly called it. So it was like the mirror image of the one from the show and the movie. So it was fun to kind of bring them in. And hopefully they make a they make a sequel, and we'll be able to do much more.
Ronda Rousey, thanks very much.
No problem, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey